Good morning. We are in Fortuna, or Ronerville, California, up by Eureka. And there's Eureka Municipal. I actually flew out of Murray Field. Eureka Municipal is just a small field out near the ocean. And Murray Field is in just north of Eureka on 101. And it's on the bay. We don't need fuel, so we can tell him to go home. So this is the one of my favorite airplanes, the Doffer, which is German, TBM 930. They have newer ones, but this one's like brand new to me. And I'm just having fun reliving my flight, but learning all the new instruments. So I flew in and out of Arcata, which is north of Eureka, because of it having a instrument landing system, which I needed to get back in. 6 nights a week during the summer, it's foggy here. So you have fog right down to the deck, but I always seem to have enough room, 200 feet, to get in. One night I diverted, but you'll see what it looks like here. And right now what we need to do is we'll put in the minimums of like 400 feet. 400 feet, enter will be our minimums, but we really don't have to worry about that because it's not a real airplane, so we can go right down to the deck. But you'll see, we'll probably break out at about 600 feet, but there were times when I was barely breaking out at 200 feet above the deck. Coming back in at 3:30 in the morning, carrying 2,000 pounds of mail. That was years and years ago, 1968, 1969, flying a twin-engine de Havilland Dove. Okay, we're in the turboprop, and what we need to do is we need to turn on nav. We need to, first of all, we're going up to about 5,000 feet. We'll go up to we'll go up to about 4,500 feet. And we're going to pick up the final approach course. So what we do is we're going to climb at the rate of climb. We're pretty light, but we'll climb at about 2,000 feet a minute. That should clear us on the foothills here. We don't want to hit anything like that. It gets up to about 4,000 feet over here. So we've got that in, climb, and got the nav. We're going to navigate over there. And then what we do is, I didn't know what P and M, PFD and MFD is. Here's the pilot display, and here's the middle display, I think is what MFD stands for. So on MFD, we can kick in here the flight plan, and we're going to go direct to Jiba. It's 4,700 feet, so we had a little difference there. We can kick that up to 4,700 right here. 4,700. That gets that. That 4,700 goes in over here on the main panel. Here's our minimum, 400 feet. Okay, and we say we're gonna go here, and we will go direct, and here's activate direct to Jiba, and there we go, direct to Jiba, and that'll take us over to the what used to be the ILS. There's still an ILS there, but we now do it with GPS. And I see another thing that's back in the display. We're not going to have much traffic, so we don't have to worry about traffic because we're invisible to traffic. So now that we got that set, we go back to the pilot display, and we can get the traffic map off of our panel over here, which really isn't in the way, but here it is right here. So if we have to look for traffic, and we won't be looking for traffic because we're on instruments. So there you are. And if you can see, you'll want to be able to look anyway. So here we go. We are ready to, and we just click on the autopilot after we break ground. And we got the brakes off. We'll go here, and we're looking out this way toward the Eel River is right out here. We'll see that when we break down. And Eureka is right up over this hill. We're about 10 miles south of Eureka. I'm taking off from here because we don't want to fly the full flight from San Francisco to here like I did every night going down and back 6 nights a week. And we just want to show you what the approach was like. Going behind here, and we just come on the power. Oh, wait just a second. We can do this. We just put this up here because we don't need to look down at the autopilot or that input. We just need to look here. This another thing I like about this airplane is you can look at the flight instruments and you can see outside. So in this situation where you have just one screen on many of the aircraft, you can either look inside or outside. You can't do both. And real airplanes, you look inside and you look outside. This is more like it. Then of course on this one you can look left with a little hat switch on the top of the yoke, which is right here on the yoke I have. There's a little hat switch up here, and I just toggle back and forth. And when I want to look, I didn't want to do that. Let's see if we go back. No, we have to reset it because I hit the back when I take off. I usually move that. We'll go out just a little bit. There we go. All right, sorry to take up the time, and I like to look outside when we take off, and we have instruments here to see our airspeed, our altitude, and our direction of flight. This thing will fly itself as soon as I click on the autopilot. So it'll climb to 4,700 feet, and it will level off there. And then when I tell it to, it'll grab onto the glide slope and go on down into the airport. The airplane I flew did not have an autopilot. And after 6 months, they gave me a co-pilot because they decided that if you didn't have a 3-axis autopilot, you should have a co-pilot. So I had a co-pilot, and that was fun. That gave me something to do. So here we go. We're off and running. We're going over to Arcata Airport. Just north of Arcata, called Redwood County Airport. We'll go here and look at this coming off the ground. A little bit of a rotation. And we can take the wheels up. And we can take the flaps up. And then we'll hit the autopilot and it should swing to the right. Go up to the final approach course. There's the Eel River. Of course, we are heading northwest at this point. There's the Pacific Ocean out on the left, out in the distance. This is Ronerville. There is a College of the Redwoods, probably right on this ridge right here, which is a junior college. I went to the 4-year college known as Humboldt. Now it's called Cal Poly Humboldt. They have a very extensive forestry course at Humboldt, which of course, look at all the forests. These are probably mostly Douglas fir here. If you look in the nooks and crannies, you'll see some redwoods where you get back up in here, where you've got a lot of water. You'll see the redwoods. So we're climbing up, and we need to come back on the power because if we go back in here, yeah, we're all right. We're all right. And you can see we're going straight up the map. Our direction decides which way the map sits. So when we first were looking at it, we were heading about 260. We were looking out in this direction. We were looking out at this airport right there. They call it Eureka Municipal. This is where the maintenance was for me at Murray Field. This is where we're going, right up here. We're landing on runway 32, right there. But as we go up the coast here, and Arcata and the college, Humboldt, sits right in there at the north end of this Humboldt Bay, right here. So let's see, we're at 4,700 feet. We can kind of come back on the power a little bit, just a little bit. Go across here at 200, could go across at full power, but it will cut into my talking time. So 6 nights a week, pretty much, especially in the summertime, there was a coastal fog practically every night. And let's go outside here. Get behind the airplane, or we can go. Nealon, this is, probably 4,500 feet, little runway on the top of this ridge here. And when this area is all covered with fog, the guys that fly visual don't have an instrument rating. They can sit up there until the fog lifts enough for them to get under and fly down the valley. And here is Murray Field, so they'll take off from Nealon. Where is he here? Take off and go straight ahead and down here, and they can land straight in on the runway right there. I took off from that runway. The city of Eureka is right here. This area out here is called Samoa, and there's a Trinidad up north, just north of where I used to live up there. And the college again would be right down in here. My friend had a membership at Baywood. There's a golf course right there called Baywood Private Club. Okay, we're starting to turn, and we'll go back inside so you can see that we're turning onto that final. And what we'll do is we'll click on the approach right there. And so here comes the glide slope down, and that triangle will become magenta as soon as it ties up. And this little thing, when we engage, that will become green to show that we are engaged. There we are. We are now engaging the glide slope. In my day, I used to have to fly that down every night. And here I can see the runway out here. You can see the strobe barely. Possibly on your screen that might not quite be visible. We'll go back outside since we're all hooked up. We've got the glide slope. Everything's on automatic. And we can kick in the weather here so you can just see what it looked like. And then we'll kick it into night. We'll go overcast, and we'll bring this down here to ground level. And the tops would be about 2,000 feet, 2,400 feet, and the bases will bring this up to about 166. That's good enough. Yeah, we better get it up. We want to break out 259, and we'll make this a little deeper. See density. We'll bring up the density. There we go. And then we will kick in. We got to slow down. And what we'll do now is we'll kick in the night. We could have done that right on the screen we were on. So we're coming in at night. There we go. There's another airplane up here. Now you can kind of see down through, which would happen. Anyway, we'll just do it this way. This is how it looked. It was a little brighter. For some reason, it felt brighter than this. It was. I imagine it was pitch black, but my eyes were used to the dark. So we'll just take this down. Now we have to watch our speed. We're going to bring back the power. We got to get this down to about 90 knots coming down here. and we're right on the glide slope. We just got to get our speed down. We'll put the gear down and a little notch of flap. That'll help slow us down. Even though you don't see the flap speed yet, we aren't playing with real airplanes. I'm not going to go out and fly a real airplane, so I don't want to. I wouldn't want to get bad habits going. I'd wait until I got the white arc before I put the flaps down. But I need to get slowed down, and I'll go ahead down to full flap, and we'll get this down to 80 knots.
Traffic.
Traffic, and then this thing popped up. So she's saying there's traffic. Yeah, we're 1,400 feet. We're going down to 500 feet. We ought to be able to see. Maybe somebody pulled onto the runway. There is what's going on. It's an airliner. An airliner passed us. Okay, I have to keep it up to 80. If we knew we were flying with traffic, I'd keep it up at 150 because the airliner's approach is more like 150. I have to be at 80, and I should be maybe 85 to 90 in case I have a missed approach. But I'm not going to have a missed approach. I'm going to just fly down to the ground. And let's see, when we get down, our minimum is 400. So we're watching for. We're still on the coming down at 550 feet a minute. That's normal. We're a little fast now. We want to be at 90. So the strobe, it would be very bright. Let's just go out here. So you can see around a little bit like that. But that's not enough for landing. You need to be able to see the runway lights. And of course, you're looking from inside the airplane, so we don't see anything that lets us know that it's time to land. You do out of the corner of your eye. You do see on a real airplane. There. Now it's in sight. That's what I used to see, and I used to be able to see it better over here. The way you sit in a real airplane. You would see the approach lights, the strobes, and the runway lights. That looks normal right there. So now what we'll do is we'll go ahead and kick out to the outside so you can see the whole deal coming down here. We're doing 80. And we can move around here so we can see the airplane. We'll go right about here. You'll see it touch down. I'll just pull back the power. Normally I'd be right on the center line. Keep it right on the center line. Like that. Okay, now we do the reversers. That's good enough. That's good enough. So that's what it looked like 6 nights a week. 2,000 pounds of mail. We won't get carried away too much with the taxi fare. See how far down the runway we are. And it did have a terminal. They did have airline traffic, but they didn't have a jet like what passed us on the ILS. Okay, so that's how I went in and out, building my time. 80 hours a month I flew, and it was it was good fun. I really got a kick out of it. And I ended up getting a degree from Humboldt in business. So that's the story. I'm going to stick with it. Thanks for watching. Bye.